We're in this chaotic time for technology right now, where on the one hand, there's tremendous fear about AI taking away all our jobs, concentrating capital into the hands of a few large corporations and governments, and maybe even bringing about the end of humanity as we know it. Let's call this the doomer thesis. On the other hand, there's tremendous optimism and hype for the potential unlocks in creativity from all these cheap AI tools, growth from new startups, and disruption of old industries, and the potential for everyone to become way more productive. Let's call this the Techno-Optimist thesis. How can we reconcile this tremendous fear and unprecedented optimism? Welcome to Hacking State, where we talk about how technology changes our relationship to power, each other, and ourselves. I'm Alex Mershak. The state of AI is confusing for so many of us right now because while it's hard enough to keep up with the dizzying pace of new models, techniques, capabilities, and companies, there's also embedded in our predictions about AI these two diametrically opposed visions of what it all means and where we're going. Now, neither I nor anyone else can tell you exactly where we're going, but I'm going to try to help you make sense of it by giving a powerful mental model for understanding not just AI predictions, but the entire category of problems where you find yourself with two competing ideas that are extreme opposites of one another. The mental model I want to give you starts with a fundamental axiom of logic, that is the law of non-contradiction. Simply put, there are no contradictions in the universe. We assume, because the world is a logical, coherent whole, that there can be no true contradictions. There cannot be in the same space both X and not X. Now, that doesn't mean there can't be apparent or seeming contradictions, only that where these appear, what they indicate is a gap in our model of the world, or as is often the case, a lapse in the language required to express a distinction at the proper level of abstraction. Let me put this in more concrete terms. Where there are two completely opposite ideas about the world, this indicates one of three possibilities. The most common, by far, number one, is that they're both wrong. That this is some form of black and white thinking on both sides, a common psychological defense mechanism against uncertainty, and that the truth is somewhere in the middle. Agreeable enough. Number two, one or the other is correct. Now, this is the least common case because it's very rare that predictions about the world follow extreme paths. They do happen. Every once in a while, there's a 1 in 1,000 year magnitude earthquake, but I wouldn't bet my life on it happening tomorrow, and I wouldn't bet my soul on it happening never again. Number three, both are not correct, but also not wrong, because they're only being misstated or misinterpreted as inherently contradictory. Think of the behavior of photons in quantum mechanics, where they appear to be both particles and waves. Now, while quantum mechanics are not entirely understood, we chalk these seemingly contradictory observations up to the fact that our interpretation is incomplete rather than it being totally wrong. I'm presenting to you the idea that the most likely explanation that parsimoniously harmonizes both the doomer and the techno-optimist positions is this third possibility. The AI doomers and the techno-optimists are both not wrong because they're talking past each other. And it's understandable why. There are strong incentives and true believers and lots of money to be made on both sides. There are also serious risks, geopolitical, economic, and existential, hinging on the outcome of these predictions. And I'm saying that all of this noise and tension really clouds our ability to think clearly about the nature of the concern. And because we can't think clearly about it, we're not able to talk about it clearly either. The truth is that there is no contradiction. AI will be both a godsend for productivity and jobs, and some of humanity's biggest problems, and an extremely disruptive force that displaces billions of jobs, turns over entire industries, and presents serious sociological and geopolitical challenges. The sooner we inject clarity into our thinking and therefore our conversations, the sooner we can address the benefits and the risks in a level-headed way. So let us heed the immortal words of Hölderlin from Heidegger's essay on the question concerning technology. Where the danger is, the saving power grows also.